How's it going? It's Josh C here with Efficient Bartending, and what I want to talk to you about today is actually helping you achieve your goals in this industry. So think about this for a minute. What are your goals? What do you want to achieve? What is it that you're looking to get out of promotion, bartending, serving, being in the nightlife industry? What is it that you want, right? How do we get there? Well, I'll give you a few examples of things that I see often that I would say either break out of this or veer away from these. So one, if you're living in a city where there's not a lot of people or there's not a lot going on, you should get out. You should move to a big city where you can make real money and where there's real action, good nightclubs, good bars, people with money to spend. Because if you go to cities like Toronto and Vancouver, Montreal, New York, LA, Vegas, that's when you can really make a name for yourself and build some good income, right? So how do we do this? Let's just say you're stuck in your small city, right? What are some things that would be keeping you there from leaving and moving? Well, I don't have any money would be one thing that I hear all the time. How do I move if I don't have any money? I don't have any sympathy, right? And the reason that I don't, that sounds so rude, and I'll actually rephrase this. It is hard, right? It is so hard. And for you to break out of this is not going to be easy. But the reason I say I don't have any sympathy is because I've been where you are, right? I literally moved to Vancouver from a small town with $800 in my pocket. That's all I had. And I had to say, okay, like that's what I'm gonna live off of for 3 months, right? How am I gonna survive? What am I gonna do for rent? How am I going to eat, right? And of course, because human beings are so resilient and we're so strong and resourceful, of course I made it through, right? So I'm not telling you go to a new city with $800 when that's literally not even the price of rent for most places in Vancouver. What I am saying is have a plan and don't be afraid to take the risk. So it's like, okay, I need $2,000 to move, right? But how am I gonna make $2,000? Well, what do you spend your money on, right? Like, do you buy food at restaurants often? Do you drink a lot? Do you have all these expenditures? Like, do you smoke? If you cut all of those things out, like, okay, think of it like this. If you can spend $300 a month on food, good healthy food, filling food, tasty food, like delicious food you make yourself, or you could go out and spend about $700, right? Same with drinking. If you do want to drink, have some events at your own house, right? Have some events at your own house, bring friends over, buy a whole bottle of something, or 2 or 3, and make some drinks, right? And then what would be one night out drinking is actually the whole night for the whole party, right? So think about your budgeting a little bit more. Be a little bit smarter when you're saving this money. Like, if you have to move back to your parents' house, do it. Don't be stupid, man. Like, oh, I get to live rent-free, right? And then save, and now I can move, right? So that's one example of like, well, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I supposed to move to the new city, right? And this is how, like, literally, like, make it happen. Be smart about it, right? So when you're setting your goals, you have to be very specific about this. So when you want to be like, okay, maybe I don't even have a job as a promoter yet. Maybe I don't have a bartending job. I'm not a bar back. I don't even have any experience in the industry, right? But what are my goals so I can get there, right? How do we structure these goals and make a plan of action so that we actually follow through? I'm sure most of you have been in the position where you've gone to the gym for a week or 2 weeks, even a month, right? And then all of a sudden just didn't have time, or one thing led to another, and you skipped out on the gym. It was done. No more going to the gym, right? And that's what happens with a lot of people in any aspect of their life when they're trying to change and make something happen. So of course, it would happen when you're trying to change your career and build something and achieve greatness in this industry, right? What can we do? One, make things very simple, okay? You never want to make anything too hard on yourself, especially if you know you are going to cancel, right? Think of it like this. If you have your day set up, right, and you're like, okay, so I need to go build contacts today, and I need to go look for jobs, and I need to do like 5 things today, right? What is that going to do? It's going to stress you out, because in terms of habits, your habit system is not focused on these yet. Again, I'll go back to the gym. A friend of mine was telling me, he's like, yo, dude, if you make it a habit to go to the gym over 3 months, you just bear through it, you bite through the pain, you bite through all the excuses that you're going to give yourself. When you do get past that period, going to the gym is going to be the new habit of being lazy. Like when you have a habit of being lazy and relaxing, like, oh, I don't want to do it. Like, no. Like going to the gym is the new habit, right? So if you put that one habit on, right, and every day you build on top of it, you're not going to be like, okay, today when I go to the gym, or today when I go out and build my career as a promotions manager, or a bartender, or a server, or whatever it is you want to do in the industry, what I would say is do one thing at a time, okay? Don't try and do 5 things. Because, like, let's just say you don't know how to juggle, but you're trying to juggle 3 balls, right? Is that gonna no, you have no idea what you're doing, right? But if you throw 1 ball up in the air, right? So that's one habit, one thing that you're going to focus on. You can look at it, it'll drop back into your hand, you can catch it. Look at it, and then maybe you'll do 2. You can do back and forth, right? So now you're focusing on 2 different habits. So one, for an example, would be like, okay, I'm going out and I'm building a name for myself. That's something you can do passively, just going out often, saying, okay, like I have to get to know people. And another thing, when you're juggling the second ball, would be like, and I have to go look for jobs. I have to go look for the kind of jobs that I want, and I'm not going to settle for less, right? And then when you get more comfortable with that, maybe you lock down your job, right? Now you're working at your job and you're getting more of a name in the city that you're in. Now you're gonna pick up the 3rd ball, right? And you're gonna start juggling 3 balls at once, right? Why is it important to do this? Because at first, if you look at the juggling analogy, we do not have the hand-eye coordination, or we do not have the focus. We do not have the willpower yet to focus on these 3 things, right? But once you make the first a habit, so you make the habit to go out and meet people, now it's a habit. Now it's something that you're focusing on every day. And now you have the habit to either focus on getting the jobs that you want, or now you have that job and you're focusing on it, and you've been focusing on it and you're doing well. Now it's a habit to go to work and to go and build something. And when you have the 3rd habit, or focusing on something else, when you are now like building the hand-eye coordination or focusing on the habit, it becomes a lot easier for you. So when you do get to the point where you're focusing on 5 things, it's a lot easier because now they're all habits, right? It's not something new. It's something you've been doing. And when you add another one and another one, it's like basically you take all the bad habits out and you put good ones in. You take all the bad focus out of your life and you put new focus into your life that is beneficial to you, is adding something to your life, right? So if we relate everything I talk about into promotions, right? How do we get past this fear of moving towards our goals, right? In promotion. Well, 1, take risks. Take risks. Don't be afraid to take the risks, right? 2, make a plan. Plan it out. Don't be stupid about it, right? And be financially cautious when spending, right? You don't need to spend your money, especially when you're starting something, right? And I will talk about in later videos why you need to spend probably about $2,000 or $3,000 when you're starting out in the first year, $3,000 to $5,000 to really ingrain yourself in the city, right? It's kind of like an investment, but right now we don't want to do that because you're just starting out and you're building, right? And another thing is like, don't put too much on your plate, man. Like, start off small and build on top of it. You don't want to be this this building that has a very small base and is building like this, because what's going to happen is going to fall over. You want to be the building that goes like this and curves up, or even better, is just grounded and solid, right? Because that's not going to fall over. You're not going to collapse. You're not going to quit, right? So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. This is Josh with Efficient Bartending. Until next time.